And what he said is, you are a celebrity. So basically what's going to happen is there's product here. And this is where you end up right here. If you can communicate this product, you can make money off the product. Because look at Gaga. She's the creative director of Polaroid. I like some of the Gaga songs. What the fuck does she know about cameras?
We live in a moment where familiarity often stands in for understanding, where a well-known face can carry more weight than a carefully written policy. Fame ignites emotion, hope, pride, and belonging. Borrowing the language of pop culture to speak to civic life, it feels electric, immediate, comforting. But beneath the lights and the chants, something fragile begins to thin. Visibility is not vision, volume is not wisdom. And a microphone, no matter how loud, does not confer authority. This is not a story about villains. The artists, athletes, and icons who step into these moments are gifted, human, sincere, imperfect, and finite like anyone else. Their intentions vary, their convictions are real, their influence undeniable. The deeper question lies elsewhere. It rests within a culture that increasingly prefers symbols over substance, one that trades the slow, unglamorous labor of civic literacy for the soothing familiarity of star power. This is not an indictment of celebrities, it is a reflection on a system that keeps mistaking applause for accountability and microphones for mandates.
I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
By the 1960s, the warning signs were already there, quiet at first, but unmistakable. Malcolm X watched a familiar pattern take shape. He noticed how often entertainers were being lifted up and framed as political voices, not because they carried the weight of organizing or resistance, but because they were safe to celebrate. He asked, where in white America is the singer crowned a leader? Where is the dancer, the trumpet player, entrusted with political destiny? His words were not hurled in anger, but delivered with something quieter, disappointment, a recognition of a performance masquerading as progress. Malcolm understood that power prefers what does not threaten it. A famous smile, a polished voice, a familiar face, these could be embraced without fear. Entertainers could be praised as leaders, while those making concrete demands were quietly pushed to the margins. It was an old strategy refined for a new era: offer visibility without power, recognition without redistribution, a symbolic gesture meant to soothe rather than transform. Malcolm described it like cream poured into coffee, not to enrich it but to dilute its strength, a softening, a whitening, a way to make the bitterness easier to swallow, while leaving the system itself untouched. Applause replaced accountability, celebration stood in for change. Malcolm X's voice cuts through the decades, measured, almost weary. They tell you this man is all right. But these aren't leaders. The words land without flourish, heavy in their restraint. The appeal of celebrity was obvious. It looked like movement. It felt like progress. A black figure at the microphone suggested doors were opening, but Malcolm feared the quieter cost, the slow displacement of genuine leadership, the erasure of organizers whose work could not be televised or applauded into submission. A star on a stage could never substitute for someone in the streets, negotiating risk with their own body. We are left with a question allowed to breathe in the silence. If power decides who gets the microphone, are we listening to voices or only echoes?
But these are very, very difficult times. And we've always believed that our best days are ahead of us.
Hello?
What's up, B?
Nothing. Lost my home. Looking for a job. What's up with you?
Still in Iraq. Watching my ass.
True.
Yo, who's that?
Hold on for a second. Yo, pick up the phone.
Yo, forget the phone. I need painkillers. You got money for painkillers?
Just pick up the phone.
Hello?
What's up?
What's up?
Yeah.
Where's Dookie?
Hey, yo, Dookie!
Pick up the phone! Duque! Pick up the phone!
What's up?
Hello?
So what's up, B?
Change. That's what's up. Change.
Early 2000s, magazine covers declaring new prophets, politicians quoting rap lyrics as if they were scripture, and hip-hop now stands at the center of American culture, its voice amplified, unavoidable. As it rose, it carried something rare in public life, unfiltered truth. Where official language smoothed edges and buried feeling beneath procedure, artists spoke plainly, sometimes recklessly, but often honestly. They named the pain that policy refused to acknowledge.
Early Sunday morning, Katrina had built into a dangerous Category 5 hurricane barreling towards New Orleans.
On August 29, Hurricane Katrina slammed into the Gulf Coast. The world watched as the levees surrounding New Orleans failed, flooding the city, leaving tens of thousands stranded and more than 1,000 dead.
There is absolutely nothing here. We advise people that this city has been destroyed.
Criticism of state and federal officials for the levee failures and botched emergency response was all over the news. But another story was beginning.
We will do what it takes. We will stay as long as it takes to help citizens rebuild their communities and their lives.
I remember thinking we have the best opportunity to rebuild this city as one of the greatest cities in America.
Katrina launched one of the largest housing rebuilding programs in U.S. history, and the outcome has loomed over every disaster since.
This is our Katrina.
But what have we learned?
The shape of the city has changed dramatically, tragically, and perhaps irreversibly. There's now over 25 feet of water where there was once city streets and thriving neighborhoods.
I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says they're looting. See a white family, it says they're looking for food. And you know it's been 5 days because most of the people are black. And even for me to complain about, I would be a hypocrite because I've tried to turn away from the TV because it's too hard to watch. I've even been shopping before even giving a donation. So now I'm calling my business manager right now to see what is the biggest amount I can give, and just to imagine if I was down there, and those are my people down there. So anybody out there that wants to do anything that we can help with the setup, the way America is set up to help the poor, the black people, the less well off as slow as possible. I mean, this is Red Cross is doing everything they can. We already realize a lot of the people that could help are at war right now, fighting another way, and they've given them permission to go down and shoot us.
And subtle, but in even many ways more profoundly devastating, is the lasting damage to the survivors' will to rebuild and remain in the area. The destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
About a week after the storm hit, NBC aired a telethon.
Yes.
Asking for help for the victims of Katrina. We had celebrities coming in to ask for money, and I remember it vividly because I hosted it. And at one part of the evening, I introduced Kanye West. Were you watching?
Nope.
You remember what he said?
Yes, I do. He called me a racist.
Well, what he said was, George Bush doesn't care about black people.
That says he's a racist. And I didn't appreciate it then, and I don't appreciate it now. It's one thing to say, I don't appreciate the way he's handled his business. It's another thing to say this man's a racist. I resent it. It's not true. And it was one of the most disgusting moments of my presidency.
This from the book. I faced a lot of criticism as president. I didn't like hearing people claim that I lied about Iraq's weapons of mass destruction or cut taxes to benefit the rich. But the suggestion that I was racist because of the response to Katrina represented an all-time low.
Yeah, still feel that way as you read those words. Felt them when I heard them, felt them when I wrote them, and I felt them when I'm listening to them.
You say you told Laura at the time it was the worst moment of your presidency.
Yes.
I wonder if some people are going to read that and they might give you some heat for that. And the reason is this.
Don't care.
Well, here's the reason. You're not saying that the worst moment in your presidency was watching the misery in Louisiana. You're saying it was when someone insulted you because of it.
I also make it clear that the misery in Louisiana affected me deeply as well. There's a lot of tough moments in the book. And it's a disgusting moment, pure and simple.
In 2005, as Hurricane Katrina drowned New Orleans and the nation watched in stunned paralysis, Kanye West stepped off script on live television. His face tightened, his voice trembled, and a sentence escaped that cut through the choreography of concern. George Bush doesn't care about black people. For a moment, time seemed to pause, not because the words were eloquent, but because they were naked. Millions recognized their own grief and fury in that unsanctioned confession. It felt like truth had finally slipped past the gatekeepers. The moment was replayed endlessly, debated, quoted, canonized. One raw sentence echoed louder than weeks of official statements. To many, it felt as though an artist had accomplished what leadership had not, naming the wound out loud. Politics suddenly felt human, visceral, alive. But emotion, powerful as it is, carries limits. That sentence did not lower floodwaters. It did not rebuild levees or return the displaced to their homes. What it did was illuminate failure and give voice to collective anguish, a necessary act, but not a sufficient one. Still, the culture blurred the distinction. The media crowned artists as tribunes of the people, elevating emotional truth into something resembling political authority. Lyrics became talking points, tweets became testimony. A celebrity's voice could thrust an issue into the national spotlight overnight. Yet something subtle shifted. Complex struggles were compressed into moments, policy into punchlines, leadership into visibility. The burden of change began to rest on cultural figures who were never trained, chosen, or equipped to carry it. And audiences moved, grateful, relieved, sometimes stopped asking the harder question, what happens next? The feeling of being seen, of hearing one's pain echoed by someone famous, could quiet the deeper demand for results. Catharsis began to masquerade as progress. When honesty feels revolutionary, do we stop demanding outcomes? And in that lingering silence, we are left to wonder whether these moments ignite lasting change or simply flare bright enough to warm us briefly before leaving the darkness untouched.
A moment hardly anyone believed possible just a few months ago. After an epic 21-month campaign, the 47-year-old senator from Illinois reaches the pinnacle of his dizzying ascent to power.
It's been a long time coming, but tonight, because of what we did on this day, in this election, at this defining moment, change has come to America.
2008 arrived like a chorus swelling at just the right moment. History seemed to find a rhythm. When America elected its first black president, the moment landed not only as a political milestone, but as an emotional release. For many black Americans, it felt like a long withheld exhale of validation after centuries of exclusion, erasure, and waiting. In living rooms and barbershops, tears mixed with laughter. Something heavy had shifted. In popular culture, the moment was treated as near mythic. Songs were written. Celebrities gathered close to the orbit of Barack Obama. Victory celebrations stretched long past election night, as if joy itself refused to clock out. The symbolism was so overwhelming that it began to eclipse everything else. It felt as though every black person in the room had been personally elected president. And symbolism does matter. Representation carries real weight. Seeing someone who looks like you in the highest office can widen a child's imagination, loosen the grip of inherited limits, make the impossible feel briefly reachable. Dreams are born in moments like that, but symbolism, when left unchecked, can turn inward, becoming a mirror rather than a map.
It is finally election night. Robert Freeman is throwing a party.
Well, it's been a long black struggle, and I felt me and Brock deserved a party.
All around the room, I see black faces beaming with elation. It is as though each of them has been elected president. Almost each of them.
What's wrong with you? I thought you'd be dancing on your tail with the rest of the circus champs. Look at them, just as happy as a pig in shit. Can't they see? Can't they see what this nigga's gonna do to our great country? Looks like we the only two people with sense in this whole room. Just you and me. Just you and me. Brother, shut up and get back to work and grab some more champagne. See? Niggas already getting uppity.
So I'm thinking that this is gonna be my new look.
Oh, that's a way to go.
I mean, I feel like it's more grown up, you know? Like, having tighter clothes is definitely gonna make people take me more seriously.
It's really gonna happen. It's all gonna be better now. It's all gonna be better. Right, honey?
Tom, I'm trying to watch this.
Yo. I heard the presidential limo's gonna be like a crazy pimped out Cadillac now, with rims and like machine guns and lasers.
Excuse me. I'd like to propose a toast. Now, I'd just like to say that today is a very special day for me. I hope you all enjoying the cheese, wine, and freedom I have struggled so hard to provide tonight. And because of my pain and suffering, the black struggle is officially over. No longer can they keep us down. No longer can we be silent.
This is it. Shut up.
And now we have the returns from the West Coast coming in here. Okay. And so, yes, folks, we are calling it. Barack Hussein Obama will be the next president of the United States. Why, Lord?
It is days before inauguration, and Obama mania is at a fever pitch. I return to Woodcrest to check on the Freemans.
I don't necessarily think of myself as a hero. And when people always ask me if I want a medal or a monument or a statue in my honor, I say no. All I want to do is be there in person on that glorious day when the first black president take the oath. I just want to stand in the crowd, somewhere in the front, maybe in the VIP section, maybe next to Beyonce.
Are you aware that some people are paying as much as $50,000 for VIP inauguration tickets?
But I don't think you can put a price on decades of struggle.
Did you contribute any money at all to the Obama campaign?
I paid $10 for this t-shirt.
Did you get that from the campaign website?
No, I got it from the guy at the car wash. But it's still free advertising when I wear it outside. A lot of people see me in this shirt.
I mean, before we change the world, we gotta change ourselves first. I mean, this is the new, colorless, flavorless, and unscented era. Like, from now on, I'm calling all my niggas Obamas. And all my bitches, I'm calling Michelle's. I mean, think about it. If you was a bitch, right, would you rather be called a bitch or Michelle?
And what about bitches named Michelle?
Man, you make a joke. I'm trying to uplift my Obamas.
Yes, can you tell the president-elect it's civil rights legend Robert Freeman, F-R-E-E-M-A-N, who struggled to open the door for him to be president. You got all that? Right. So tell him I'm calling again about those tickets. Again.
Hey, man, I got that Obama water. Change the way you hydrate, brother. Yo, little man, hey, check it out. I got commemorative plates, 2 for $20. How many you need?
I'm cool.
Man, can you believe it? In a few days, we're gonna have a black president. Aren't you excited, little man? What's supposed to mean?
Just means
Yo, what the deal, man? What's going on here? What's up, man? Yo, what's I asked this kid if he was excited about Obama, and he said, He said, Yeah, what's wrong with you? You're not excited?
Not excited?
Who ain't excited?
This little nigga right here.
Why ain't he excited? So you don't like Obama. You want McCain to win.
I never said that.
Why ain't you like Barack Obama? He got a lovely family.
Not according to this little nigga.
He got a problem with a black president.
Boy, what's going on? What did I tell you about talking to anybody about anything?
I didn't say anything.
What's wrong with this kid?
Hey, everybody, just crank the hole, dog. Yeah, just what the hell is going on here? Ruckus?
Oh, no.
This little big-haired nigga hates Obama.
And I say, good for him. Leave this little boy alone. He telling the truth. Barack Obama is an evil man. Hey, everybody, just calm down. You hater. You say, yes, we can. We say, no, you can't, nigga. Oh, hell no. Ow, I can't breathe. It's a monkey stampede. Rage war. Somebody. Get in the car, quick.
Ride, go,
The American press struggles to comprehend the incident. To them, Huey is like a calf that refuses its mother's udder, choosing instead to drink the bitter waters of its own making. Here is the danger of too much hope. Skeptics are treated like blasphemers, and indifference becomes equal to hate. Robert Freeman calls a press conference to do damage control.
Huey Freeman is not really my grandson. I refute, renounce, and rebuke him. I hope this incident in no way affects my request for VIP inaugural tickets and/or the inaugural ball with Beyonce. Rosa Parks is no longer with us, but I consider myself to be the next best thing. In many ways, better.
Where is your wife?
She's in, D.C. There was a problem or something with the ticket, so we only had one, and I let her have it.
Are you afraid your wife will have lusty sex with Barack Obama?
What? No. No, that's impossible.
I didn't ask if it was possible, only if you were afraid. I can't help but notice you are like a less attractive, less wealthy, less powerful version of him. It is quite understandable for you to be concerned.
Celebrities, dignitaries, and civil rights legends are arriving in droves for the inauguration of Barack Obama. Anyone hoping to get tickets at this point, don't bother. The ship has sailed and you are not on it because you are not important.
Hey, Granddad, this was at the door.
Office of the President-elect.
Mr. Freeman, please find enclosed 2 VIP tickets to the inauguration, as well as the inaugural ball with Beyonce, as a small token of gratitude for all the sacrifices you've made on behalf of me and this great country. I look forward to sharing this historic day with you. Sincerely, President-elect Barack Obama.
What's going on?
I'm going to the inauguration. You want to come?
Yeah, boy!
And just like that, virtually foaming at the mouth with unbridled excitement, Robert and Riley leave for the inauguration. You are looking at the final mission of a domestic terrorist, Operation Exodus. Convinced he has no place in Obama's America, Huey Freeman decides to leave the country for good. And he has an unlikely companion.
I was going to go to the inauguration and try to crown Obama with a brick. But who am I fooling? My arm just ain't what it used to be. Plus, that greedy nigga is really fast. And knowing these liberal activist judges, they might actually try and put me in jail for it. No, I think it's time for me to leave this great country. Oh, I can't bear to see it run by an African, Muslim, communist antichrist. I just can't. It's just like when Nicole Brown Simpson married that nigga OJ back on February 2nd, 1985. Oh, I knew it was going to end badly. I told them all. But nobody wanted to listen to old Uncle Ruckus then neither. I want to go someplace I'll fit in, like Norway or Ireland.
What about the Ivory Coast?
Absolutely no Africa. No way. All them countries got nigger presidents, which defeats the whole purpose of leaving this country.
How do you feel being teamed up with your arch enemy?
First of all, we're not a team. Second of all, we're not a team. I've got gas money, he's got the license. We're just gonna drive to Canada and then go our separate ways.
You see, Bill, I consider myself a black leader now, and that means helping Obama and doing anything he asks.
Oh, yes, I can hear you're concerned for the state of the world in that song you did about stomping people in the nuts.
Oh, that was the old me. Everything is different now. I'm much, much, much more politically aware and stuff.
Really? Well, name the 3 branches of government then.
The what?
Come on, black leader. It's 4th grade social studies time. What are the 3 branches of government?
Let's see. They got the main branch.
If you're a black leader, I'm glad I'm a white man. What a moron!
What's the point of talking if nobody ever learns?
This is an outrage. I have my right. Oh, them bricks ain't mine. Ain't that a surprise? Already taken away my constitutional right to bear bricks. Martial law. Martial law. Get your arms out.
We remain a young nation. But in the words of Scripture, the time has come to set aside childish things. The time has come to reaffirm our enduring spirit, to choose our history, to carry forward.
See him. Come on now. Please. I have VIP ticket.
We all got VIP tickets! Get your hands off me! Alright, you in trouble now. I'm calling my nigga Obeezy.
Please don't tase me. Don't tase me, bro. I'm an old man. I got a heart condition. You can't do this to me. I'm a civil rights legend.
Save us, Obama!
This tension was captured in the Boondocks. In one episode, the nation celebrates, bathed in hope and applause, while Huey Freeman stands apart, watchful, unconvinced. To him, the election represents not transformation, but a surface shift, an image powerful enough to absorb expectation, yet light enough to leave structures untouched. Around him, people project everything they long for onto the new president. They say he will fix it all, though they struggle to name how or why. Many had fallen in love with the idea of change, without preparing for the discipline it requires. In the early months of 2009, criticism felt prohibited in some circles. To question decisions was framed as ingratitude. We finally made it, people said. Isn't that enough? The historic nature of the presidency became a kind of armor-shielding power from scrutiny. Hope stretched into a honeymoon, and accountability waited patiently in the wings. For many supporters, the image carried more clarity than the policies themselves. The psychological relief was profound, the feeling that history had turned a corner, that representation alone signaled progress. But relief can be dangerous when it lowers expectations. When the bar softens, so does pressure, and power left unwatched rarely corrects itself. None of this erases what that moment gave us. Barriers were broken. A generation grew up believing the door was not permanently closed. Political engagement surged. The moment mattered. Yet something else crept in quietly, the notion that identity could stand in for ideology, that symbolism could substitute for scrutiny, that admiration might replace demand. If identity becomes the argument, what happens to accountability? In a democracy, symbolism should open the conversation, not end it. Celebration should be the beginning of vigilance, not its replacement. Because when the cheers fade and history moves on, someone must still be watching power closely. Politics has always carried an element of performance, but in the 21st century, the curtain lifted and the stage lights never turned off. What was once theater became crossover entertainment. Campaigns began to resemble touring shows, moving city to city with guest appearances and surprise cameos. Candidates no longer sought only votes, they sought validation by proximity. The bigger the name, the brighter the glow. Endorsements were no longer footnotes, they became events. A singer posts a single line online. An actor delivers a solemn monologue in a campaign ad. A rapper steps onto a rally stage, offers a few bars. The exchange is subtle but powerful. The affection fans hold for the celebrity quietly transfers to the politician standing beside them. Trust borrowed rather than earned. Credibility passed like a lit torch. It is efficient. It is seductive. And it is far easier than the slow, fragile work of building trust face to face. This dynamic isn't new, but it has grown louder, faster, and more polished. By 2016, the techniques remained, but the tone shifted. Donald Trump entered the race already fluent in the language of spectacle. He did not need to borrow celebrities because he was the celebrity. Attention itself became proof of legitimacy. When Kanye West appeared beside him, first at Trump Tower and later in the White House, the substance of the meeting mattered far less than the image it produced. A photograph did what policy proposals could not. It signaled something ambiguously, provocatively, and allowed viewers to project their own meanings onto it. Hope for some, betrayal for others, confusion for many. The image traveled faster than any explanation ever could. And it wasn't an isolated moment. In montage, the pattern repeats. In 2008, Oprah declares he is the one, and the crowd feels seen, validated. Soft power at work, comforting, affirming, deeply persuasive. In 2016, Kanye sits in the Oval Office, wearing a red cap, speaking freely while cameras flash. Trump barely speaks. He doesn't need to. The spectacle speaks for him. In 2020, Cardi B interviews Joe Biden on Instagram Live. Millions watch. The exchange feels refreshing, accessible, sincere, and yet something quietly strange lingers. A pop artist is now the conduit through which civic vetting occurs. Politics reaches the people, but only through entertainment's lens.
All right, we're going to create a new banner. This is a Jum Doc alert. NBA superstar LeBron James is talking politics again, and this time it's R-rated. Here's his barely intelligible, not to mention ungrammatical take on President Trump in a new ESPN podcast.
The number one job in America, the point of person, is someone who doesn't understand the people and really don't give a about the people.
But wait, there's more gripping insight. ESPN host Carrie Champion asked James and fellow NBA star Kevin Durant about what she described as Trump's racist comments.
I feel like our team as a country is not ran by a great coach. It's not even a surprise when he says something. It's not even a surprise. It's like laughable. It's like
it's laughable.
It's laughable and it's scary.
But it's also scary because I shouldn't be numb to your racist comments.
Right.
I shouldn't be numb to your behavior.
I'm numb to this commentary. Like, must they run their mouths like that? Unfortunately, a lot of kids and some adults take these ignorant comments seriously. Look, there might be a cautionary lesson in LeBron for kids. This is what happens when you attempt to leave high school a year early to join the NBA. And it's always unwise to seek political advice from someone who gets paid $100 million a year to bounce a ball. Oh, and LeBron and Kevin, you're great players, but no one voted for you. Millions elected Trump to be their coach. So keep the political commentary to yourself, or as someone once said, shut up and dribble. We'll be right back.
Good.
I'm still trying to get over the fact that Kevin Durant said, I feel like our country is not ran by a great coach. Does that mean I should go for a ran tomorrow morning before my radio show? Oh my goodness.
In 2022, LeBron James is told to shut up and dribble. The message is unmistakable. Celebrities are welcome in politics, but only when they follow the script. Speak when it entertains, endorse when it helps, criticize too freely, and the invitation is revoked. And in 2023, Taylor Swift encourages her fans to register to vote. Registrations surge. Headlines celebrate the phenomenon. It is hopeful and unsettling, a reminder that civic participation now often requires a nudge from fame, as though democracy itself needs a cosign to feel relevant. Step back far enough and a pattern emerges. Institutions fail to earn trust. Celebrities step in to supply it. Symbolism fills the space where accountability should live. People are engaged as fans, not participants. Personalities eclipse policies, and power quietly, efficiently remains exactly where it was. This pattern transcends parties, eras, and personalities. Only the faces change, the tools evolve, the structure endures. Politicians increasingly choose clout over coalition. Why build relationships slowly when admiration can be harvested instantly? Everyone benefits from the arrangement except the public, who may feel included without ever being empowered. And so the chapter closes with a question. If your vote is shaped by admiration, Who does your accountability belong to? By 2024, the stage had shifted again. The rallies were still there. The endorsements still mattered. But the loudest applause no longer echoed from arenas or cable studios. It came from earbuds, live stream chats, comment sections, scrolling faster than thought. Politics had fully entered the algorithm. Traditional media debates, press conferences, Sunday shows no longer held the same authority they once did, especially for younger audiences. Many had already left those spaces behind, not out of apathy, but out of distrust. What replaced them was not silence, but something far more intimate: long-form conversations, parasocial relationships, and cultural figures who felt closer than institutions ever could. Into this landscape stepped Donald Trump, not as a guest navigating hostile interviews, but as a familiar presence moving through alternative media ecosystems already primed to receive him. One of the most consequential stops was the Joe Rogan experience. Joe Rogan, whose voice had become a daily companion to millions, especially young men, offered Trump something rare in modern politics: time. No countdown clock, no combative moderator. Just a long, meandering conversation that felt less like an interview and more like an invitation. For listeners, this mattered, not because policies were clarified in detail, but because tone was. Trump appeared relaxed, familiar, human. Rogan's eventual endorsement, quiet, casual, almost offhand, carried the weight of trust accumulated over years. It wasn't framed as a command. It felt like a recommendation from someone you already believed. Aiden Ross hosted Trump on a massive livestream, drawing hundreds of thousands of viewers in real time. The audience skewed young, overwhelmingly male, and largely disengaged from traditional politics. Aiden did not challenge Trump with policy nuance. He didn't need to. His presence alone acted as validation. The message was implicit. This candidate belongs here. He speaks your language. He sees you. Then there were the Nelk boys, operating within a broader manosphere culture, irreverent, anti-establishment, suspicious of mainstream narratives. Trump's appearances in these spaces weren't about governance. They were about vibe, belonging, cultural alignment. Politics delivered not as instruction but as identity. What mattered most was not persuasion in the traditional sense. It was normalization. Trump was no longer merely a candidate. He became a recurring figure inside the digital habitats where many young men already lived, appearing not as an interruption but as part of the scenery. Over time, resistance softened. Skepticism dulled. Familiarity did what arguments often cannot. By the time ballots were cast, exposure had already done its quiet work. Analysts were careful not to confuse influence with inevitability. These creators did not decide the election on their own, but credible reporting suggests they helped shift margins, particularly among younger male voters, long resistant to conventional campaigning. The strategy revealed something essential about the moment we're living in. In a fragmented media landscape, access is power, and power now travels through trust, personal, informal, parasocial, rather than institutions. Where celebrities once stood beside candidates, now they were the platform. Where endorsement once symbolized support, now it was embedded in algorithms. The gatekeepers dissolved, the filters disappeared. Politics slipped quietly into culture, unannounced, unchallenged. And once again, the question returned clearer now, harder to ignore. If political trust is built through entertainment, if legitimacy is earned through familiarity, if influence flows through personalities instead of principles, then who is shaping belief and who is accountable when belief hardens into power? In 2022, Kendrick Lamar, one of the most celebrated lyricists of his generation, offered a line so blunt it landed like a splash of cold water.
So shit, I'm in the groove. A celebrity do not mean integrity, you fool. I'm a good man. Shake your hand.
Celebrity do not mean integrity, you fool. It wasn't shouted. It didn't beg for applause. It simply stated a truth that had been hovering beneath everything this documentary has explored. Fame, Kendrick reminds us, is not virtue. Visibility is not wisdom. A platform does not confer moral authority. Millions of listeners, countless awards, none of it guarantees clarity, honesty, or sound judgment.
Kendrick made you think about it, but he is not your savior.
In another breath on the same album, he goes further. I am not your savior, not defiant, not dismissive, just honest. It's a Huey Freeman-style skepticism, voiced not from the margins, but from the center of the culture itself. A refusal to play the role audiences and institutions so often assign to artists. Kendrick isn't rejecting responsibility, he's rejecting projection. The idea that talent should automatically translate into leadership. That expression should become instruction. J. Cole also wrestled with this dynamic in False Prophets, critiquing both celebrity ego and audience idolization, and disappointment that follows when humans are mistaken for ideals.
Yeah, man, they would.
But I'm like, for real, why you care so much what the Dixie Chicks say? It's not like they political scientists and nothing. They just bitches, they can sing good. You know what I mean? Stop worshiping celebrities so much. Just don't listen, pay attention. I remember right around September 11th, Ja Rule was on MTV. That's what they said. We got Ja Rule on the phone. Let's see what Ja's thoughts are on this tragedy. Who gives a fuck what Ja Rule thinks at a time like this, nigga? This is ridiculous. I don't want to dance. I'm scared to death. I want some answers that Ja Rule might not have right now. I think when bad shit happens to me, I'll be in the crib like, oh my God, this is terrible. Could somebody please find Ja Rule, get hold of this motherfucker so I can make sense of all this. Where is Ja? God, me Ja Rule.
Dave Chappelle, despite being pulled repeatedly into political discourse, has been adamant about his limits. I'm not a moral authority, I just tell jokes. Even earlier icons Prince, Tupac Shakur grappled openly with the tension between message and messenger. Their work carried insight, anger, hope, but never certainty. The unspoken plea running through their art was the same: judge the ideas, not the pedestal. There is something quietly hopeful in this self-awareness, a kind of internal checks and balances forming within the culture. When Kendrick mutters clout chasing, hell of a disease, brother, it isn't a punchline, it's a diagnosis. A warning about how the hunger for influence corrodes sincerity, how the chase itself can hollow out the message. The benefit of this moment is subtle but real. Artists are reminding their audiences, especially the young, not to outsource thinking, not to confuse resonance with righteousness. Hip-hop, once so often used as a political prop, is speaking back, don't make me your political voice, find your own. But the contradiction remains. Warnings, too, can be idolized. Kendrick's rejection of saviorhood is quoted endlessly, sometimes treated as scripture rather than instruction. The machinery of fame has a way of absorbing even its own critiques, turning caution into content. The media praises the insight, then continues asking the next celebrity for political guidance as if nothing was said. For every artist pushing against a pedestal, another is encouraged to climb it, and the audience conditioned by years of spectacle often rewards the climb. So this chapter does not end in resolution, it ends in tension, a culture becoming aware of its limits while still addicted to elevation. A message urging discernment, competing with a system that thrives on projection. If even the artists are asking us to stop worshiping them, why are we still so eager to kneel? At last we arrive at the end of the road, or perhaps the beginning of something harder to reverse. This is the point where politics no longer borrows from entertainment. It becomes it, not just the surrogates, not just the endorsers. The politicians themselves transform into brands, performers, and recurring characters. This is not the work of one person or even one party. It is the long pull of celebrity culture, exerting its gravity over decades, drawing the entire political sphere into its orbit. Slowly, inevitably. The result is mesmerizing and deeply unsettling. In this era, elections are conducted in hashtags and viral moments. Governance competes with engagement. Success is measured not only in legislation passed, but in views, shares, and ratings. Speeches are written with clippability in mind. Debates are mined for moments that can travel faster than context ever could. Rallies resemble concerts, same stadium, same lighting, sometimes the same performers. The line between civic ritual and entertainment spectacle dissolves almost completely. Conflict, once a problem to resolve, becomes something to upload. Outrage is no longer a liability, it is currency. Scandal sustains relevance. Provocation keeps a figure trending, and trending becomes a proxy for power. Political actors begin to move like influencers, measuring their impact not by outcomes, but by reaction. In this engagement economy, attention itself becomes the prize, and governing is increasingly confused with staying visible. This shift reaches a watershed moment with Donald Trump. Trump did not merely operate within media culture, he saw the world as media. Meetings were judged by their spectacle, confrontations by their drama. At one infamous moment, he reportedly said, "This is going to be great television." We can describe Trump as the first true reality TV president, but Trump was not an anomaly. He was a culmination. Decades earlier, Ronald Reagan showed how familiarity could become authority. Americans felt they knew him. He spoke like someone already in their living room. Not from a distant podium, he became the great communicator, less because his policies were understood, and more because his presence was trusted. Later, figures like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse Ventura proved that celebrity itself could function as a qualification. What once felt novel soon became normal. By the 2010s, media personalities and reality TV figures filled ballots. The old joke politics is show business for ugly people lost its edge. It was simply show business. This shift had consequences. On one hand, spectacle pulled people in. Those once indifferent to politics began paying attention when it looked and felt like the entertainment they already consumed. Engagement rose and passion followed. Some registered to vote for the first time, drawn by the drama and the sense that something meaningful or at least exciting was happening. But the cost was real. When politics becomes content, seriousness erodes. Governance requires patience, expertise, and compromise qualities that don't trend. Quiet work is drowned out by loud performance. Grandstanding replaces lawmaking. Nuance collapses under the pressure of constant reaction. Institutions begin to feel unreal, scripted, disposable. Trust fades not because people don't care, but because they can no longer tell what's real and what's staged. A kind of democratic fatigue sets in. Citizens grow exhausted by endless outrage and spectacle, unsure where substance ends and performance begins. And in that confusion, power often consolidates quietly off stage, while attention remains fixed on the show. When politics becomes entertainment, who is still governing, and who benefits while we're busy watching? This was never about blaming celebrities. They are human just like the rest of us. They carry insight and blind spots, courage and contradiction. They make art that moves us, stories that give language to feelings we couldn't name ourselves. They can amplify truths that deserve to be heard. Art can awaken something real. Fame can focus attention. These are genuine forms of power, and within their lane, many wield them beautifully. No one should do your thinking for you. That is the quiet center of everything we've explored. The real danger is not that a singer or athlete holds political opinions, it's that we might surrender our own judgment to them, that we trade discernment for familiarity, that we let visibility replace understanding. The comfort of letting someone famous guide our beliefs is tempting, but it comes at a cost. As Kendrick Lamar warned us, celebrity do not mean integrity, and celebrity does not mean wisdom, or foresight, or infallibility. When we outsource our conscience, when we hand our critical thinking to people on pedestals, we shrink ourselves. No matter how gifted, no matter how charismatic, no matter how much their work has meant to us,